present world without concern for the future world. The rich man was obsessed with things for self, but lost his soul and left all things behind. He used the providence of God to glorify himself and forgot all about God in the process. There was no prayer, there was no praise, there was no worship, there was no gratitude, there was no acknowledgement of God in his life. There was no charity to anybody. He worked overtime, double time, and every time, and had no time for God. The rich man was a fool. He even talked to himself as though he was talking to God. So, thou hast much good laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. You know, if you have enough money in the bank, go into retirement, live in luxury, go to the Poconos, enjoy life, feel good, and be happy ever after. He made the American dream, but it was a spiritual nightmare. He was a huge success in the eyes of men, but a tragic failure in the eyes of God. He gained the world, but he lost his soul. He gained everything money could buy, but he lost everything only God could give. He was a fool and a failure because he was rich in the things of the flesh, but poor in the things of God. Rich in the things that perish, but poor in the things that matter most, that endure forever. He was rich in the material things, but poor in the spiritual things. Rich in temporary affairs, but poor in the eternal matters. And what does Jesus say to us? Verse 21, so is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God. And the question this morning is, are you rich toward God? Some of us also don't have time for God. We have time for Uncle Sam, time for our bosses, time for our spouses, time for money, time for everything else but God. But God said unto him, thou fool, this night your soul will be required of thee, and then all that you provided, who is going to inherit them? Brethren, covetousness is not only rich people's disease. Poor people too can be obsessed with the necessities of life until they also forget about God.